While Montmartre may be known for its stairs, Pierre is known for its escalators. Lots and lots of escalators. Escalators, I have every intention of using all the way up. I just realized, why am I walking? I should be standing very still and letting this carry me all the way to the top. Pierre you may not have heard as much of as Belleville, which is right below us. Phenomenal neighborhood, so much going on the verge of the 19th and the 20th in combination. And we're gonna put ourselves right on that border to start because it is kind of the best part. I mean, of both in a lot of ways. The 19th's got some good stuff going on. Anyways, I told you I was gonna use all the escalators all the way up. We can discuss the 19th over coffee. After yesterday, the goal is to walk downhill as much as humanly possible. We'll see how that goes. We're about as far uphill as we need to be, at least. Speaking of hills, I do have a very nice and unique, I think, view to share with you today. One you may have never found on your own, one that I sometimes struggle to find myself. But first, we've got to check out Noah Coffee. Where's the door? That's good neighborhood coffee vibes. You know those old school coffee shops where you just go and you feel like, oh, people actually live here? Noah does that. I haven't been there for like a year, but it's just good vibes, nice people. Okay, there's a church that's technically in the 19th. I always think of it as being in the 20th because it's at Jourdain, the metro station, which like dumps you into the 20th. But the church is technically across the street. And I can't remember the last time I was in there. Emily still lived here, I'm pretty sure, the last time I was in there. So let's go check that out really quick because I don't even remember what it looks like. Then we'll walk through my favorite park in the city because it's right here. But we're not gonna really stay there because the view I wanna show you isn't in the park. It's near the park. The kind of place that I don't know that you would find on your own, and I don't even know. I'm sure somebody shared it on the internet before, but I'm gonna share it with you now. No. Wait, maybe it's a plumber. Hold on. No. Urgence. I saw Urgence and I thought like, oh, maybe they're like here to do some repairs. Am I the problem here? I think this church should be big enough that we can still kind of sneak in, but let's play this by ear. I didn't mean for this series to be a constant reminder of our mortality, but it was very nice actually to listen for just a minute. I found it was really moving. I would share it, but I don't feel like it's appropriate to like share what I recorded because mostly it's just the audio in the background as I was grabbing snippets of the stained glass and, you know, the ceiling and whatever was off to the side. But I found it, I don't know, it just kind of like seeped in, both in the tone and in what they were sharing. And it's kind of the same thing as like spending a little bit of time in a cemetery and leaving feeling a little bit invigorated because you're like, wow, I'm lucky that I'm alive and I get to go and experience whatever comes next. It's a gift. In the same way, hearing people grieving makes me grateful that people care for each other, that they love each other like they clearly do, but also makes me glad that I get to go for a little stroll in the park. So in honor of the life of whoever it was we were just listening to, let's go enjoy a coffee. I wasn't gonna get a second coffee, but I'll get another one at Marty here, one of my favorite spots. And we'll take a stroll into the park and then go sit, have a nice view, and reflect a little bit on life together. How's that sound? This is probably not what you signed up for when you started this video, sorry. Marty also has a Space Invader on it, in case you happen to be of the Space Invader variety. Classic spot. Forgot about their dog, which is funny because their dog's on the sticker, which is, I have one of those stickers somewhere, maybe on one of my notebooks. But if you're looking to wander into Bout Chaumont, and you ask me, I'm probably gonna send you here. I don't care how original or unoriginal it is. I love stopping by Marty. Okay, Bout Chaumont. Bout Chaumont was one of those places that when I first moved here, I thought was way too far away. Like I was very metro bound at the time, and I would get like all the way to line 7 bis, which is this tiny little nub of a metro line that shoots off of line 7, thus the bis part. I was just like, it takes like almost an hour to get to this place. Why are all my friends always here? And it's because it's a wonderful spot for a picnic. Obviously not picnicking season right now, but if you come here when it is picnicking season, this is like where the locals go. I don't think I'm ruining it for anybody because the average tourist literally just won't make the effort to come this far. So you'll be in rarefied company if you do. And for those of us that love the east side of the city, this is the park to be in, for sure. Well, I won't go so far as to say that this is the best view of the city or even a great view. It is a nice view, unique. There's not a lot to look at as far as, I mean, you see a lot of weird apartment buildings, which kind of undoes the myth about Paris of not having any skyscrapers. This place is not only surrounded by Space Invaders, it's also surrounded by things that I absolutely love, bars, restaurants. And normally on a 20 and 20 like this, we would go down to the canal from here, because the upper canal, I think, is the undervisited part of the canal. It has some of my favorite tap houses and some great options around it. However, today I thought we'd go for a little bit less of a beer-centric lunch and something a little bit more Asian. We've been eating a lot of Asian food in this 2020. But first I have to show you the view I was telling you about earlier. This isn't it. There's a lady over here setting up an entire coffee stand for herself, which is too amazing not to note. And also not happy with the rain. I'm not alone. Thanks to today's patron producer, Kevin Thompson, and all my patrons for supporting me in suffering in the rain for your enjoyment. I hope you're enjoying this. Are you enjoying this? So it turns out the lady setting up, it wasn't coffee, it was tea. I stopped by to ask what was going on. She just sets up in one of 4 or 5 different locations every Friday, brings some tea, offers it to anybody passing by, meets some neighbors. She said it's just a nice way to meet people. And then they asked if I was from the neighborhood, and I was like, no, I'm from the 16th. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're lost, aren't you? Anyways, very nice. Maybe we'll run into them again someday. Should we make that a goal? Like, come back on a Friday sometime and see if we can have some tea? I've already had too much coffee. I don't need any tea. All right, let's go find that view, finally. Remember when I said we weren't going to do any stairs today? I knew I was deceiving myself, but this unassuming stairwell running between a couple of buildings under a building will actually lead you to one of the cutest, possibly least discovered little neighborhoods in all of Paris. I don't know. Maybe everybody knows about this, but I don't think they do. It's kind of unlike anything you may have seen around town, and it has a great view. Granted, it's a little cuter when it's all green and flowering, but hey, give me a break. It's so quiet up here. There's like no traffic, nobody out and about. Although granted, it helps that it's raining, etc. But like, it's always quiet up here. Our view might get ruined by some construction stuff, but we'll figure this out. There's a little community garden over here and a bench. Just one of those like unknown spots that locals know, and they come and they'll eat their lunch here and enjoy the view. And there it is. We can still kind of see it even despite the rain. Where is it? There it is. There's this community garden here which goes down the hill, which you're not welcome in. I don't think it's public, but we're in luck because the bench in question is actually on the right side of all this, whatever this is. They're doing some construction somewhere. So if you sit on this bench, you actually get a view directly to Molten Mount over the rooftops, which honestly is pretty darn iconic, if I do say so myself. Look at that. I don't want to sit down. It's actually really wet. I was going to say, doesn't look that picturesque looking this direction, but I blame these guys for that as much as anything. The buildings behind me are really cute. There's a lot of brick. And like I said, this little street here, it's up a tiny hill and there's no through traffic. So you only come up here if you need to be up here, which makes it very quiet. And a great spot to sit if the bench isn't soaking wet and covered in construction guy gloves. I don't know what's going on here. But with the community garden and the view, it's a great spot to sit and have a sandwich. But we're not sitting outside and having a sandwich today because I'm not sitting on this. As much as I'm not scared of getting a little wet, I'm not sitting down. I decided to stick it out for a little bit longer and get a time lapse. And I'm glad I did because I was thinking about the funeral and the tea lady. And 2 things. I think, 1, I've been thinking a lot about how do we create a sense of community wherever we are, not just in Paris, because that's my corner of the world. And I want to make sure that I invest deeply in the people that are here, that I know, that I love, that I care about on the ground, right? That's the tea lady, what she's doing. She's just going out every Friday and offering hot tea to random passersby, to her neighbors, friends and strangers. And I really, really appreciated that. And language is the other part of it. I wouldn't have been so moved by what I got to hear in the church, and I wouldn't have been able to talk to that lady probably. I don't know if she speaks English, but I was under the impression she didn't, if I didn't speak French. So for those of you that are thinking about moving here, and I know a lot of people are increasingly interested in moving here for reasons that are so painfully obvious, do what you can to learn the language. You can live in a city like Paris without really speaking French. I know people that do it, but you're really going to miss out if you don't put in at least a little bit of the effort. It's been a really good day. I'm really glad that I came out. Anyways, lunch. Oh man, that was so good. It was worth the walk back. What a loop. Oh, and the weather's like not even raining anymore. Easy. But I'm walking downhill to get to Metro. I'm not walking there. I don't even care if it's longer. It's so good. And I couldn't resist the Singa, because anytime there's a Thai beer on offer, gotta take it. I got their new cucumber salad with peanuts and a fermented fish sauce. It was very nice and spicy. Woo! Sunshine. And I couldn't resist the TFC. It was very good. That was some wild rice and a sweet chili sauce. And I resisted dessert because I think this thing acts as my dessert. Anyways, it's not the cheapest lunch, but definitely always worth a trip. I think it was 33 euros for the whole thing together. Lunch or dinner. It's a great spot. Anyways, as we walk through Belleville, that's the 19th. I hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna wrap this casual 20 and 20 with the 20th. Mañana, see you for that.